Hello, the internet.
Hello.
Welcome back to the channel. My name is Fran. This is my husband, Michael.
That's me.
So it has been a hot minute since I made any videos, and it's been an even hotter minute since Michael was in any of my videos.
Right, because England's been really hot.
It's been so hot. It's been deeply unpleasant. So, the setup of today's video, which I laid out for Michael in advance,
yes,
was going to be, what am I claiming is my current journaling system? What is actually my current journaling system? What am I therefore changing for next year, and how am I planning on changing it? That's Michael. So should we jump straight in?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So
that was me jumping. Yeah.
That was Michael jumping. Very, very good, Michael. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
I'm available for voice acting work.
Goodo. Your chair's making a lot of noise.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's not your fault.
I'll stop moving.
Okay.
Do you hear that?
Fine. So my current system is someone. I actually got a comment from someone who doesn't normally comment. A new person. Hello, new person.
What was their name?
Francis Richter.
Trying to figure out if that was a pun. I don't think it was.
No.
Okay.
It was so.
If that is your actual name, Francis Richter, that's a great name.
It is a great name. So Francis Richter asked me if I could go more into depth in my planning cards that I have. So this is what I'm claiming is currently my journaling setup. So I made these cards with they're 6 sides with the intention that I can flip them, put them back into the pile, and then I just work through the pile 3 times fully, and that gets me back to the beginning of the next day. In theory, a perfect day, and I do have a few perfect days, but the stars really have to align for me, is I have an early session, so like first thing in the morning, where I fill in, and now I'm going to reveal how little I have been doing this in the last month, where I do a session where I say, did I consume any media yesterday? So I put it in the monthly tracker. Then I write, I won't show you the gratitude pages, but you can see I do it like maybe once a week, sometimes more than once a week. But I go, am I grateful for anything today? So I write down a list of 10 gratitude things in the weekly spread. And then I have a bunch of daily things, and I will show you an example of one that I actually decorated. So like, for example, this one, don't read anything, don't read it. But I have a couple of readings that I follow, like some spiritual stuff. I take a little affirmation with a sticker, with a tarot card sticker, and I bought a bunch of them.
Doesn't need me. She's a strong, independent woman.
I am a strong, independent woman. I bought a bunch of the tarot cards as stickers, so I could just stick them down. And I have a list, which I think I have printed at the front of my daily book. I found a list online of just, oh, that's where it went. I was looking for that. I have a list of affirmations that go along with the tarot cards. So I don't have to think about an affirmation. I just pull a card, and that gives me my affirmation for the day.
Fun.
And then I ask myself a few more questions, which is just like, what's occupying too much of my mental space? Do I want to do a tarot card pull on it and just get a bit of insight from that kind of structure? And then I end it by just going like, do I need to, what can I do to have a good day? And do I need to take any meds? Do I need to shower? And like basically go and start your day now.
Okay.
So in theory, that is the thing that I do in bed before I get up in the morning.
And that's the first of 6 of these cards?
Yes.
Right.
But in theory, that whole thing should take me between 5 and 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
Then I have work set up. So first thing in the morning, I sit down and I basically just I break my day into 45-minute blocks. I should be doing the Pomodoro timer, so I should be having like did I hit record? I did. I should be having a break.
We've been burned before.
I should be having a break between each Pomodoro session, but I actually don't like taking the breaks because I find that once I take a break, the 10-minute or the 15-minute break for me just isn't long enough for me to like have any real benefit from it. So I tend to do morning, so I still break it into 45-minute blocks of like that's how I measure my tasks, but then I take like a lunch break rather than 5-10 minute breaks in between. So I just calculate how many blocks do I have in this work session. So if I sit down late to work, I might only have 3 45-minute blocks, but if I have loads of time, I might have 6 45-minute blocks. What are the main focus of the session? So like I try to keep the work within one topic because I work for multiple different clients. What is the most useful thing I can do towards this focus? A lot of this stuff is stuff that I've already decided in my weekly planning session that I do on a Monday morning.
Right.
So a lot of this is literally just picking dots off a list rather than making these decisions.
Yeah, fair. Okay, that makes sense.
But like I'll pick a task that's like the big thing, and then I'll be like, can I do it in one block, as in one 45-minute block? If I can't, how can I break it down so that I can tick something off? Largely this is not to achieve productivity, but this is largely like researching how much I can get done in 45 minutes so that when I'm then looking at project breakdowns and timelines and stuff, I have more data and more experience of like consciously tracking what I can do, because it's very easy for me to sit down at 9 o'clock in the morning,
Sure.
work straight through because I forget to have lunch because I get into a flow, get to the end of the day and go, I A, have no recollection of what I did, and I B, have no recollection of how long what I did took me.
Okay. Yeah,
And then the next day I've got no context to gauge like how the work was. And then I go, what will success look like? And then it's basically just like, how do I know that I've done a good job today in this morning session? Then at lunchtime, the idea is that I go into my daily book and I write down like any food. So this is what like a food tracking day looks like. I write down like just a whole Easter egg. What have I eaten and drunk? Do I need to have lunch? Go and do that now. And then I go, do I have time to journal for a few minutes? Hopefully yes. Do I need to get up and move my body and or pee? Because that's something that I often forget to do.
You have to write that down.
I have to, well, no, as in, no, I don't have to like write these as answers.
Do I need to pee?
No, I don't necessarily write all of these as answers in my book, but I look at them and go, do I need to pee? Yes, I do.
No, but I mean,
will
how many spaces on cue cards are dedicated to checking whether or not you need the toilet? I've already gone.
I mean, you'd be surprised. And then, so in theory, at lunchtime, if I have time for journaling, I go in my Midori Hibino, which the last day that I even put a bookmark in was the 6th of June, and I haven't touched it since then. And you can see...
That's fine, because it's currently the 7th of June.
You can...
Nobody knows, it's the internet.
You can see that a lot of the pages, there's like large spaces between them. I love the Midori Hibino. The paper is delightful. The grid for me is just a little bit too small for me to use it not sitting at a desk. So it's difficult. Originally I was trying to journal in this first thing in the morning or before bed, and the size of it is just, it works better if I'm sitting at a desk. But if I'm not sitting at the right desk, it doesn't work, and I cannot explain it. It's very much a aesthetic for the vibes kind of journal.
Sure.
So I have to be in the right place to use it. This will probably be the first book to go for next year.
Right.
I bought it on a whim, and I actually bought it and then forgot I had bought it because I pre-ordered it, and then when it arrived I went, oh shit. So I've loved it, and I've loved having had the experience of using it, and I'm really grateful that I tried it, because if I hadn't, I would have always wondered if I wanted it. At this time of my level of organisation and where I have this much space in my life, it's not been an overwhelming success.
Okay.
However, the time in the book is still passing, and I can look back at it, and I can still look back in the book and go, these days I had more time. Like, and so it's still an accurate record of my life, even if it's not been filled in all the way. And then at the end of lunch, I go and do the same work setup that I did in the morning. So it's literally a direct copy of the work setup card from earlier. I just liked being able to have it as the next step without having to go back to old steps and reshuffle things. My goal would be to turn this into a tiny little printed book that I can literally just turn the pages on and get to the end and then put it away at the end of the day. Then I have the end of the day session, which in theory should be happening in this book, which is my workbook. This is my like weekly scale planning book, and this is the one that I film in my weekly plan with me videos, which Michael, please make the noise. Bing! that will link to a playlist maybe, or the most recent video maybe, or maybe just nothing if I decide not to link it to anything. But there's a bunch of videos where I go through my week, and in theory this little section here at the edge of the that was tax information I probably should have talked about. This little section here is where I fill in my end of day stuff. Clearly I do not do it. What I have discovered is that actually doing the end of day stuff in the morning, the next work day, is more helpful for me. Okay. Because it means that I like close up the day before I start the new day. So I'm going to redo these cards.
Sure.
But this is what they are currently.
This is what they are currently, and then
yeah. And then in theory we get to the bedtime book, which is a take a note planner, which again you can see some days I filled in quite a lot, some weeks I've not filled in really at all. So I will just split to an empty spread because this is the kind of stuff that's like quite personal, so I don't want to share it too much. But I basically just ask myself a series of questions that, again, I do them, they should only take 5 minutes to fill in, and I fill in these questions on the weekly side, on the mini weekly, and I just go, so did we take meds today, yes or no, because that will determine whether or not it was a good day or not.
Sure, okay.
If I didn't take my ADHD meds, I go, right, I need to cut myself a lot more slack and not be so mad at myself. And then I go, did we accomplish what we wanted to get done? Would you believe there is an almost direct correlation between the days that I take my ADHD medication and the days that I get the things that I meant to done? I would.
I don't know how else to phrase it. I would believe that. Haha.
Yeah. So, and then I asked myself a couple of questions, which again are just like spiritual, like, am I living my life the way that I want to be living my life? Mm-hmm. So, I say we, so I don't know about you, when I talk to myself, I use we. Like, if you're talking to yourself, if you're like, I need to get stuff done, and you're talking out loud, do you use I, you, or we?
Oh, God. Wow. Probably I.
Yeah, that's what Lucy said as well when I asked her, but...
Nameless person that we know.
I mean, she's a colleague from work.
And to be fair, we know about 50 Lucy's.
Yeah, Michael said I'm not allowed to know any more Lucy's because I've got about 6 on my roster.
She's got no more Lucy spell slots in her in her capacity.
But I always use we when I talk to myself because it's like me. It's like my inside talking.
That makes sense because it's like you giving yourself a pep talk. Mine is just like insanity. I'm talking to myself.
I don't think. Well, I think, but some people say you, like, come on, you've got to do this. Like, you look in the mirror and you're like, you can do this. You're a good person.
No, generally when I'm talking to myself, I'm not like talking to myself directly. I'm like rehashing an argument that I really definitely should have won.
Yeah, never against me though.
No. Like someone I'm really mad at.
Never me. Anyway, so I ask myself these questions and I go, were we helpful? Were we resentful? Were we selfish in a good way? Were we selfish in a bad way? Were we dishonest? Do we wish we'd done something different? Has anything happened that will weigh on us unnecessarily? And did we do anything that we feel we should be ashamed of? Not that we are ashamed of, but that we should be.
See, I know that what you mean by you say we when you're talking to yourself, but when you're saying it now, I feel like you're including me.
I'm not.
Because she's looking me dead in the eye.
Yeah, no, I'm not. And in theory, I fill these in every night. I aim to fill them in every night. The reality is that if I do the bedtime session once a week, that's been a good week because our evening routine is quite varied and quite stressful at times, and I often get to bed and I'm just too tired to do this kind of big thinking stuff. So I'm thinking that maybe I will put this in the morning session.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it does, it just on the surface, it feels like a lot, particularly for somebody who takes ADHD medication. Like, for someone with ADHD, like, for someone without ADHD, this feels like a lot.
But in theory, each card is 5 to 10 minutes. And that's if there's a lot to fill in. So like the work sessions are literally 5 minutes when you sit down to work.
Sure.
The end of the work day as well, in theory, should be 5 minutes at the end of the work day.
So this is what it is now.
This is what it is now.
So what are you hoping for it to be?
So, I mean, the last thing that I will say before I move on is that I also have this weekly processing system where
the one that you just found.
The one that I just found, but I've been off standard work for 2 weeks, so I've not planned in 2 weeks.
This is true.
So I will be coming back to this tomorrow.
It's been a really relaxing.
It's been so stressful. I hate being on holiday. It's the worst thing ever. So this is my weekly planning system, and if you want to see more about that, then you might as well just watch the actual weekly planning sessions. I tend to manage to get them edited down to about 20 minutes. They normally take me about an hour. But in total, we're talking about...
They normally take about an hour.
They normally take us about an hour. No, in total, we're talking about an hour once a week, and then, 6 times 5?
30.
So between 30 and 60 minutes a day. Spread out in multiple sections throughout the day. So actually, it's not that much. And the fact is that most days I'm not doing all of it anyway. But that's the goal. That's the dream, right? So for next year, the one thing that I know that I want to keep is the Hobonichi cousin.
Okay.
I think next year I'm going to go for a Hon, which is this. So the Hobonichi cousin has like a soft paperback cover.
Okay.
The Hobonichi Hon has a slightly thicker, harder back cover, which means that you can avoid needing to put it in a big chunky cover like this.
Oh, so you'd lose this cover?
Well, this cover would stay with this book.
Okay.
I like the cover, but I don't like how big it is. It just means that popping it, because it's an A5 book, but the cover makes it bigger than A5, means that popping it in a little handbag is just not possible. So it becomes more bulky.
I also really like the pen. Fran got me one of these pens for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plain green.
They're really nice. So I'm going to keep, the first one I'm going to keep is the Hobonichi cousin. I'm going to get a Hon. I don't know what cover type it will be. I don't really care that much, if I'm honest. I'm not in it for the external aesthetics. There's something about writing in the paper. There's something about turning the pages. There's something about the colour, and I like colour matched all of the ink, so I can work with that. I just quite like it. It makes me feel like a fancy girl.
And is it that you think, when you say something like you're not really in it for the external aesthetics, is it because you know that you'll be able to do things like customise it the way that you want? Because you are a very aesthetically loving, but like you just said, you use different colours ink and stuff like this to match the. So like. Well,
let's put it this way. This wasn't the cover that I ordered. I ordered a different colourway,
right,
and they sent me the wrong one. And then when I asked if I could return it, they were just like, "Can we just refund you and then you keep it?" Because I think the cost of returning it, it's just quite high, and because it was their error, they would have to pay the return postage anyway.
Right.
So I kept it. I don't like this cover. I don't like the colour. It's not very me. It gets grubby. I don't like it. I used it because I didn't want to be wasteful.
Fair.
So I am quite, like, I don't actually care that much. Like, is it my favourite? No. Am I going to use it? Yes.
Okay.
So if like the cover that I fall in love with is out of stock, for example, I'm not going to be like, oh well, I've got to spend double getting it from a second retailer. I'll just get a different one.
The statement kind of stood out to me because my experience with this so far, my very limited experience with this sort of journal world, is that it is pretty aesthetic focused.
It is, but for me, and I don't know how to describe this, it's for like the aesthetic feelings rather than the aesthetic looks. So like it's more like the vibes rather than the aesthetics.
Gotcha.
Like I like turning, like when you turn the page of the Hobonichi cousin, like, and I've done this before, and I show everyone I show I do this for, but it's like there's something about turning that page, just like it's so thin and it's so delicate, and you just feel like a fancy girl. So the workbook this year has been, that's money. The workbook this year has been overwhelmingly successful. It has genuinely, I have gone, if you've been watching the journey, you'll know that I started with really no idea how to plan on a weekly scale, and I've been building it. Next year, I want it to be a bit smaller and a bit more portable. So what I have done is I've ordered a undated Wonderland 222 weekly planner.
Ooh.
The reason I got the undated one is because it is also untimed. And as we all know on this channel, I am unhinged, and my timeline starts in the morning and goes to the evening at the top of the page. Because the sun rises in the morning and the sun gets higher throughout the day.
And then it sets in the evening.
Well, no, then you go to bed and then it sets overnight and then it's back down here again for the morning.
I don't really know how to respond to that because in that world, the sun is still up when you go to sleep.
Yeah, but the sun, like, so let's say this is like sunset, right? The sun sets here and comes and like falls down the back of the page, and then it's dark up here because the sun isn't there anymore.
You literally can't say your point without bringing your finger down the page.
Look, to me it makes sense. To me, when I visualise a day, when I look at a timetable, and I think I did it at the beginning, somewhere down here, I ended up doing them horizontal because it was too difficult to do them vertically, but I've done it where are they? Well, you just have to believe me, okay? I've done it. And there we go, this one. For me, that's the morning, and that's the bedtime.
Right.
That's just how I plan. That's just how the time in my brain works. So what I want to do is to have this as the weekly page. It has about 90 pages at the back for where I can do my weekly processing. But then I'm going to combine it, I think, with a take a note, and I'm going to have them in one book cover so that they open up like this. So I have an idea for how a book cover would work. I saw something for like a double planner where basically when the planner is closed they look like this, and then they open up and that becomes one book and then that becomes the other book.
Right.
So the covers are attached here and here, and then they sort of like stack up on top of each other, because most of the time I don't need to see this, so I can have it open like that or like that, and that's totally fine for me. But it just means that I have the option to sort of have the two books open at the same time, but without having to have this much space on the desk.
Okay.
And I'm really excited, and I think it's going to be quite fun to design that cover. I'm going to use the take a note as like my daily planner. I have been using the Jib and Techo days as my daily planner, and the fact is that I don't need a page a day. I have come to accept this. I love this planner so much because I love that it's got the two timelines on it, and it's got the timetable down the middle. I just don't.
Up the middle.
Well, it's down. Oh, sure. It's got the timetable down the middle. I just don't use it the way that I should be using it, because it's just one book too many. So what I do use it for is I put my actual calendar in there and I use it as a calendar. Crap, I forgot I had a meeting on Wednesday. That's fine. I have got my actual calendar in this book, and then the daily pages might or might not get used, and I've just made peace with the fact that there will be months at a time or weeks at a time that I'm just not using daily pages. I think that having a setup like this, where instead of having this book where I have, sorry love, I'm trying to be quick, where I have this book here where I've got like the processing. So I have like the weekly processing where I do like my planning type stuff, and then I have my timetable, and then there's one more section that I need, which is like the actual plan for the day, which I will make on the day.
Right.
So I think having the daily scale planning in the same cover as the weekly scale schedule and the weekly scale processing, which will be at the back here, I don't think I want a third notebook. Oh, there's a sticker there, it's got stuff. I don't think I want a third notebook to be the processing as well. I think having just the two notebooks is fine. However, if I do run out of space in this at the back, if like my weekly processing goes on and on and on, I do also have a couple of these A5 thin Wonderland 222 books that could be stored alongside, and they're the same size, and this one's the same colour. I've got a couple of others that aren't. But if I need to make like work notes, I can always carry a scratchbook around like this, and I've got a few scratchbooks already. And so if I'm working for different clients, I can have one book per client if I need to. It just gives me a bit more flexibility to not need to carry this around, because this is very big.
Sure.
So that will be my work setup. So that will replace my work setup. Then I'm still going to have the Hobonichi cousin, which will be basically my like fun journaling stuff.
The one with the cover. Okay,
the one with the cover. Yeah. To replace the Jib and Techo, so half of the Jib and Techo will go into the work setup stuff, but this kind of stuff in the Jib and Techo, the timetable stuff, will go into the this will be my everyday carry book, and I'm actually setting it up at the moment because I want it to be all set up for next year, so you're getting a sneak peek of what it looks like. And then I also am going to have weekly spreads, but the weekly spreads I didn't want to just get a common planner where you have the lines, where you have like the sections going down across, because I wanted just a bit more space vertically, but I didn't want a vertical timetable. So instead of getting just a normal common planner, I got a Stellium notebook, and I'm setting it up myself. I'm filming them, I'm going to turn them into shorts. And then everything from, I think, here, so that is the cutoff, all of that will be pre-planner, this will just be blank notebook.
Oh, fun.
So then in here,
with lovely golden pages.
With lovely golden pages. So then in here, I can, basically, this becomes my carry around with me everywhere book. if I'm sitting at the gym waiting for my session to start and I want to make some notes or like do some thinking, I've got somewhere to write, so I don't need to be carrying around this book and this book and this book because they all have different functions.
Sure.
But it's small, so I can keep it in my small handbags without having to take loads and loads of stuff with me. So that is basically going to be the replacement for that. And then the bedtime book, I think the reason that this hasn't been working is because it's quite a lot of space. I know it's only a half page, but it just feels like it takes a lot of space on the bed when I want to write. If I'm writing in bed, it takes up quite a lot of time to like fill in all of this stuff. It feels like quite a big commitment. So instead, I have an undated Aura Estelle catch-all weekly, which has a weekly spread like a Hobonichi weeks book, and then it has a double page spread as well. So again, this is one that I'm setting up in advance of next year, where I have the daily spaces, which will be the like mini weekly where I'll answer my yes no questions, and then I give myself a little bit of space, much smaller than this quantity of space, just to basically go without processing my emotions, without having to sit there and go like, oh, how do I feel about stuff? Is there stuff that's weighing on me? Whatever. It's just to go, what did I do today?
Yeah.
And like just to get into the habit of memory keeping a bit.
Without having to feel like you have to fill half a page.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And then also if I then need to backfill, so if I don't do it for a couple of days and then I want to go back in and fill in yesterday and the day before, instead of now having to write a page and a half of text, I have to write maybe one full page of text, which is about the same as half a page there anyway. So it just makes it more manageable. So essentially I'm losing the function of the Midori Hibino, which was generic journaling.
Which does have a lovely cover itself.
It does have a lovely cover. And I ordered this one off Etsy from the same place I ordered this one from. This is a generic one. This is just a general journal. I don't do general journaling. So I will have my morning book, which will be a Hobonichi cousin. I will have my everyday carry, which will be this one. I will have my bedtime book, which will be this one. And I will have my workbook, which will be this
merged.
Yeah, this like compound setup. And then the last one that I will be introducing, because now that we're working in the wedding industry, we are planning things years and years and years and years in advance, is I actually got this, again, this is a custom cover that I got from the same people that I got this one from Etsy. I got a 5-year diary from Sterling Ink, and I've turned it into a 10-year diary.
Right.
Because this will be for when we're at wedding fairs or when we're talking to wedding people, and they want to know if I've got availability, rather than having something digital. And often what I do with potential brides is I say, I'll pencil you in. It's not a booking, but if somebody else wants to book that day, I'll just shoot you an email and let you know. So it means that if someone is looking and they're like, are you free on this particular day? I can flick to the day and be like, I have another couple who I have spoken to who are getting married on that day.
Sure.
Would you like me to send them an email to find out if they're interested in actually booking or not? And then if they say no, I can let you know and you can go ahead and book it.
Yeah.
Or it just means that, because I think the thing with wedding planning is that there's this sort of like sense of urgency in so many things where it's like, oh, you've got to make a decision, otherwise you're going to lose your supplier. And it's so stressful. And actually, I'm not in demand enough currently that people need to be like booking me within 12 hours of meeting me.
Yeah, and also even our goal of like what we want to do with that is we want to be doing a nice reasonable amount.
Yeah, like we don't want to be doing more than 12 weddings a year, really.
Well, look, so regarding the planner system,
yeah,
I mean it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It looks completely exhausting,
doesn't it?
I don't know how you're going to keep up with it. How are you going to do all of these things constantly?
Well, I'm preparing everything ahead of next year. So all of these week setups, I'm setting up ahead of next year. So I get to do the decorating, and it gets to be really beautiful, and I get to open it and look at it and go like, oh, isn't that wonderful? Because if you look at some of the pages that I just hit Michael in the face. Like if you look at some of the pages that I've actually decorated, like they're really gorgeous. And it makes, these are ones that I pre-decorated that I never filled in. But like, they're really nice to look at, and it's really, really pretty to flick through and look at the beautiful pages that you did. And that, I think, is part of the appeal, and that's part of the thing that keeps you going.
Sure.
So in setting up the books, because this one needed to be set up from scratch, this one I didn't mean to buy it undated, as in like it wasn't a deliberate choice. Specifically, I bought it undated a few years ago because I just wanted to see what it was like, and I wasn't sure if I was going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So having the obligation of dating it and setting it up would be a problem and a massive barrier for me. But because I'm pre-setting them up and then I'm filming them as well, and I'm filming a bunch of them as shorts, I think I'm filming all of them as shorts actually. So next year, even before the year starts, I'm going to have a whole year's worth of content with all of the setups scheduled and ready to go.
You hear that, everyone? We might actually get some regular posts.
We might get some regular posts. And also for next year, I'm not committing completely because I don't know if I'll follow through, but I did buy this bullet journal.
It looks like something out of Lord of the Rings.
It does, doesn't it? It's cute.
A little tree on
I did buy this bullet journal, and I am planning on setting this up as a bullet journal. I have offered it to a couple of people that I know in my life at the moment. So far, nobody has like jumped up screaming and been like, yes, please, oh my god, yes, I would love that.
These gold pages are a big thing of yours.
I really like them. They're not that great actually, because they get scuffed, and they look, once they're a bit scuffed, they look a bit rubbish. So probably I won't, after this year, I won't be buying many more gold pages. But I do really like them. But yeah, so hopefully I will also have a monthly bullet journal setup that I will do with our original style videos, where we film them and then we do a voiceover and explain what's going on.
Okay.
And it's a bit chaotic. But again, that will depend on, basically, I think I did the calculations. It takes me about an hour and a half to set up the month and all of the weeks of any given month in these two that need a lot of decorating. So I figure we've got about 28 weeks of the year left, and I've got, I think, about 21 months total still to do, or 20 months total still to do. So I need to be working at more than a rate of 1 month per week in the books, which means that I need to be setting aside probably between 2 to 3 hours a week for this setting up, in order, because then I also need to edit and do stuff to get them online.
Yeah, sure, okay.
So I'm not even going to touch the bullet journal until I finish these. So whether or not I get these done in a timely manner will dictate whether or not I have a bullet journal for next year to do.
Okay.
And I'm absolutely not going to plan to do the bullet journal throughout the year, because I will not be using it myself. And doing a performative bullet journal I think is silly. Fair. But also, if I'm not using it, I definitely will not be able to maintain that consistency, because it's just not who I am. But yeah, so that is, I don't know how long we've been talking, probably about 16 hours.
Yeah.
But that is the mid-year of where we are, or where I am.
Right, is that clear? Has everyone got that?
Any questions?
Yeah.
Shall I start again from the beginning?
No.
I think Michael nearly died.
I think my brain exploded. I think if you now asked me to point at any of these journals, and I'll tell you which one it is.
What's this?
That one, I don't know the name, but that's the one you didn't like the cover, but you are going to use it next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. That's test pass. Flying colours, 100%.
All right, great.
A star. God, that's showing our age. They don't do A stars anymore, do they?
What's it now?
Now they do like 1 to 10 or something. You get numbers. You don't get letter grades anymore.
Oh, these kids and their little ideas, I don't understand it.
For context, me and Michael, or I, because Michael was a year above me.
You mean we?
I was the last year group to do A-levels that didn't have A stars. So when I did A-levels, they didn't even do A star, they just did A's.
I used to smuggle in a game to school on a floppy disk for IT lessons. And we actually, loads of us used to do it. We had a game called Bubble Trouble downloaded onto a floppy disk, and we would floppy disk it into the computers for IT.
That's so funny.
And that's not how old I am, that's how old the facilities at my school were, because CDs were well in use.
No, but I am a year younger than you, and I remember doing stuff on floppy disks in like primary school.
Yeah, in primary school. I'm talking about like year 9.
Okay, but that's only 3 years late. Like when I was in primary school in year 6, you would have been in year 7.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a scale of 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you everyone if you've stuck around this long. Like, why? Honestly, you bloody mental case.
And thank you for the comments, and thank you for the questions.
And thank you for the comments and the questions. And also, I discovered that our friend Grace has been secretly watching these videos to support me.
Oh.
And she never leaves a comment, and she never
or does she?
Says anything. Well, maybe she does. Maybe she's incognito. Sarah Smith, no. But yeah, so Grace, if you're watching, hi. That's it. That's
it.
That's
Okay.
the whole
Right.
message. It's just quite exciting to know that people like actually watch it.
Yeah. And let us know if you want to shout out as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Fun. Okay. I'm terrible at ending the videos, so
Bye.